So I've been pressing out the fat quarters that have been folded for a very long time, and then cutting 2 5-inch strips out of them, because that gives me the 6 pieces that I need out of the 5 fabrics to get 30 squares. So there's 3 of them that are done. This is the 4th one, and then I'll do the holly one. So I've cut this one. This one is probably not as, the others have been fairly straight cut. This one, not so much. So I'm going to have to do that one. But anyway, I did one cut. Now I'm on my 2nd cut, and I will get, I wonder, that is left over from my back quarter. And I'll take these 2 strips and this one doesn't look too straight. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can straighten that out a little. Not much. Just a little. Yeah. This one looks straight. Yep. Okay. Now we'll put them this way. That way. And we'll get 3 cuts out of this. Okay. Here's another 6 blocks. So I'm going to have fun putting this together. 1 more to go. Don't count on me to count correctly. Remember I said 30 5-inch squares? Wrong. It's 32. So I had my 30 squares, and I actually just laid them on top of my other one, because it took me a while to figure out how to place these the first time I did one, because I hadn't done one in a long time. So I just laid out the one I'd already made and put these squares on top and laid them out. And it's 32. So I had to cut 2 more squares, but I think I like the way it's laid out right now. Yeah, I think we're good. So what I will be doing is either sewing strips this way or sewing them the other way when I get sewing them. So I'll be back when I'm ready to do that. Okay, I'm back sewing. So I've got these many, I've got 3 rows sewn together, and what I'm doing is I'm starting the row down here and sewing them this way, and then I'm actually attaching them, so it's just going to all go together. So and laying this one out, of course this is a pattern from Missouri Star Quilt Company. They are on YouTube. I've forgotten exactly what the video is called, but I think I had to go look at it when I did the one I made in Georgia, because I couldn't remember how to lay out the charm squares. I remembered it had 2 here and 2 here on each end, but beyond that I just couldn't remember. So it is, I don't know, I don't want to say complicated. It's not really complicated. You just got to figure out how to lay them out. So this is what I'm doing. I'm sewing the squares together and then attaching them to the main part, and I'll have this top together in no time. I'll be back when that's done. Okay, it's together. So these are really quick and easy to make. I was trying to think of how to describe putting the rows together. And basically, when you look at this, the way I've been making them is there's 2, and then 4, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 5 that are then staggered. Then another row of 4 and a row of 2. So, I've got to find a piece of fabric that will go in the back. I do have plenty of batting. So I'll just have to find a piece to go in the back. And again, everything that I'm making is for sale. And I did, I'm going through all my stash. I have 2 of these charm packs, and I think I was thinking of trying to make, I don't know, some kind of a quilt or a throw out of them. They're really pretty. They're called Winter Song by Moda. But if anyone would be interested in having one of those table runners made out of this, I could actually even make it longer. You can add rows of 5. The charm pack is a stack of 42 squares. I use 32 in this table runner, which I think is a good size for any kind of table or coffee table. But if someone wanted a longer one, it could be, so it hung over edges or whatever. All that needs to happen is to add more rows of the 5 squares before going down to the 4 and the 2. Out of 42 charm squares is obviously enough for 2 more rows of 5 rather. Some of these are just a plain fabric in different colors. As you know, anyone does go through different color schemes. So that's just a plain beige. I have no nails anymore. I cut my nails off. And then we go into greens. That one is really. And then cranberries. And deep cranberry. These are really pretty colors. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with them. So if anyone would like one of those table runners, and then we have this green, which to me is like a Loden green, and then a deeper green. Not to get my fingers in that. And then browns, which I kind of like. There's the brown ones. And I think there's a couple more green ones or something at the end. Oops, sorry, lost track of where the camera was. Yeah. So there's that, if anyone's interested. So, I can either look for a piece of fabric to go in the back of that, or start cutting for this one. Haha, I could have 2 of them, 2 of the tops made, then I gotta put them together. So, we'll see. That's it for now. Well, I think I found a piece of dark green. I think I bought this down in Georgia, and I think about a couple yards, and I'm really happy about that. I did use it as the backing of one of my other table runners, and I think that'll work just fine for this one. So, just gonna cut along here and get a piece for my batting, and I'll be able to put this one together. Alrighty, that'll work. Okay, for putting the table runner together, what I have is my piece of batting and the backing, right side up, right side down on the table runner, so right sides together. I will be pinning this, and what I will be doing is leaving an opening on one of these ends, one of the 2 pieces either end, whichever. I'll be leaving an opening so that I can pull it through. And once it's ready to be stitched, I'll be starting like here, going to the corner, going up, going down, and just sewing along these zigzags until I get all the way around. I'll be going all the way around each corner, all around the zigzags, till I come back to the opening. So first it's pinning it together, making sure everything is smooth and tight. And probably tomorrow, I'll wait till tomorrow to start sewing this, putting it together, because then I'll be quilting it. And it'll be done. So there we go. These go together pretty fast and kind of fun. I like fast projects sometimes. So there we go. Okay, this one is pinned, and this one's getting sewn together tomorrow, because once I get the third one done of that other table runner, this one here, I have to start figure out what I'm going to back them with and get batting and all of that. I have to start laying them out. So this one's got to get finished, and then that one will be done. I can work on the other three, and I still have one other one that I want to get done to sell. So this will be done tomorrow. That's what I'm going to work on tomorrow. So there we go. Okay, I have sewn all around the edges of this. Some seams, the way I had them pressed on one side, I kind of turned them the opposite. I will just run the iron over those. Not a big deal. It's not going to show up a lot. It's like on this side. It's not going to show up once it's quilted, or even once it's together and pressed. So this is where I've left my opening. When I cut it, I'm going to cut a little extra along that opening, so I have a little bit more than the 1/4 inch to fold inside, tuck it in, press it, get the edge even. So I will be cutting now along this edge. I need to snip in there. I need to cut off my corners, just beyond the stitching. So when I turn it right side out, I can get a point there. So there's a lot of trim work to do. Like right here, it needs to be cut off there, snipped into the edge. So I'm going to be doing the cutting and cut this out. I might press it first with these seams, then cut, and then turn it right side out. You know what? It probably doesn't matter if it's pressed. I'm going to turn it right side out. It's going to go the way it's going to go. I'll be pressing it down. So I'm going to trim. I'm going to cut. Got the excess cut off, and just as a hint, it's certainly easier to cut these little spots here if you cut it from the side of the batting versus the side of the fabric, where you're really not sure where your seam actually is. So I'm going to turn it right side out and get it pressed, and we'll see where we're at. Now it is important to leave a big enough opening to get your hand in there, because what you've got to do is now get your hand in with a pair of scissors. I can use my small ones, and start poking out your points. Put the scissors in there. So you got all these little points that need to be poked out. So I know there have been times when I have thought, well, this is a small item, whatever it was I was making. I don't need much of an opening. But then I couldn't get my hand in it. and just about anything that you're turning right side out like this. You need to smooth something out. It usually has a point somewhere that you need to get your hand inside, and a pair of scissors or something sharp that's not going to tear. That will get that point. That one's being a little stubborn. So I will continue going around, and I will get this pressed, and then we'll talk about the next step. Oops, sorry. Alexa just made a noise. Yeah, like I was waking her up. Okay. It's turned right side out, and it's pressed. And here's the back. So, I haven't decided if I will go around the edge of this. I'd rather not because of the white. So if I just quilt it, what I will do, I can do either 2 or 3 lines, and the first 2 would start here at either one of these in between, and I would go to there and come down to here and then to there, and do the same on the other side. Go here to that point, down to there, and then down to there. And that might be all I do. If that's all I do and I don't do the quarter edge, this is my opening, I will need to hand stitch that. So that's what we're looking at. So I think I'll just do those 2 lines of quilting and probably hand stitch that opening and call it done. Just a little extra. I use a different presser foot when I'm doing this that allows me to see right along this seam doing the stitch in the ditch quilting. Works pretty good. The other thing I do, depending on how your sewing machine is set up, mine is like computerized, and I set mine, if you can see it, this is my stitch length, and the normal is 2.5, but when I'm quilting I do the largest. I do it at 5 because there's really no need to be doing small stitches when you're just doing the quilting. So that's the back of the first row of quilting that I've done. Also start with a back stitch so you're securing your thread, and I'll end with the back stitch as well. So, okay, this table runner is done. That's the top. And this is the back with the quilting, which I think I did another line on my other one, but it really doesn't need it. There's plenty. So there we go. One more done and ready for sale.